we get to talking about what we can't do. Let us put respect where respect is due. Created with infinite possibility. I can't sleep no more on me. You want that real shift? Well, here's that real shift. Giving you some tools that you can build with. No, you don't have to choose the hurt to heal it. What you're feeling is what you're reeling. You want that real shift? Well, here's that real shift. Giving you some tools that you can build with. If I want a million, I can have the million. Gotta see the million and receive the million. You want that real shift, yeah. Get that real shift, yeah. Come on and shift your life. But first you gotta shift your mind.
Welcome to the Shift Podcast, presented to you by your host, the one and only
Tamara Lachey.
Welcome to the Shift Podcast with your host, Tamara Lachey. I hope you're having an amazing day today. Listen, today is a beautiful day. The fact that we have life is a blessing. So, if you don't know, the Shift Podcast is all about helping you with your process to tap into the transformation necessary to receive the abundance that God has mandated for your life. So, we talked about some things the other day, and we're going to continue talking about it. So, we're talking about vision right now. And I want you to understand that vision is necessary, it's important, and we know those things, right? But what we talked about the other day, and we're going to continue, is about the identity, all right? How your identity, excuse me, must match your vision, okay? You all, I got some ginger in here, some lime, some turmeric, and some cayenne pepper. There's some things that I got some goals, okay? Um, so if you want to get rid of your inflammation, stuff like that, tap into stuff like that, okay? But anyways, like I was saying, your identity must match your vision. And so as a brand strategist in my career, branding is an identity that produces a result. So when we're talking about your identity matching your vision, shifting your identity to match your vision, you're really rebuilding yourself, rebuilding your brand for the result that you want. So if you desire abundance, you desire a successful relationship, you desire better health, you desire more money, you desire more peace, more joy, more love, more happiness. A lot of times we point the fingers at different people and we play the blame game when the truth is we're the problem. So if I want these things for my life, then I need to shift. I need to do something different. And once you realize that you need to do something different, once you realize that, okay, the problem is I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So I need to change some things within myself. But before I can literally make those changes within myself, I have to be honest with myself. So when you are going through a shift in your identity so that it can match the vision that you desire for your life, you have to go through a moment of honesty. You have to tell the truth. What is it about yourself that's keeping you from where you're going? Like, prime example for me, if you can relate, I am a person that a lot of people can depend on. So, a lot of times, if a person calls me, I will drop what I'm doing, even though it's important, to go help them. When I realized that I needed to start saying no more. because I am a dependable person, but I need to be dependable for myself. Okay. Because if I'm doing something for me, that's just as important. But I think a lot of times when you are a dependable person that people can depend on, you you don't want someone to feel like let down. You don't want someone to feel let down. You don't want someone to feel hurt. You don't want someone to feel like you you wasn't there, right? I really don't necessarily know like what exactly causes that. I can say for me, it could be that I'm the oldest of five sisters and one brother. And so I've been dependable for a very long time, since my childhood. So it could be that that is a part of my DNA. And so I struggle because even though I say no today, even though I choose myself today, I'm not going to tell you that I still don't struggle in that area because I do. But I've made a decision to shift my identity. And I think that's where the denying of the flesh comes in because once I've made up in my mind, I'm going to be dependable for myself. I've also made up in my mind that in order for that to take place, I have to say no. I can't pick up my phone all the time. I can't respond to that text message just because you sent it. I can't go hang over here like I used to because now I matter to me. I don't and I think that's the thing. I think a lot of times we want to matter to other people, but do we matter to ourselves first? And actions speak louder than words. And I think a lot of people disappoint us because they have the words, but they don't have the action. But watch this. But we don't have the actions either toward ourselves. So when we're shifting our identity for a particular vision, it is important that we're honest with ourselves. What is it that I'm not doing for myself that's been hindering me from producing that vision? What is it in myself that I'm dealing with internally that maybe I'm not aware of, or maybe I haven't sat still enough to actually reflect and be honest with myself. So, and I think once you understand that, it's like, oh, and the truth is it going to be difficult? Is it going to be hard to break? I want you to look at it from a different angle, one day at a time. One of the things I always say is it takes one day at a time. As my son is defeating autism, right? It's one day at a time, but that's not just with him defeating autism. That's what everything that we have to conquer in life. It's one day at a time. But we cannot take that one day at a time step until we make a decision. So you have to make a decision that I want to become somebody different. I don't want to be who statistics say I am. I don't want to be who my upbringing said I was. I don't want to be who the people say I am. I want to be who I need to be to produce a vision that I have. And the truth is, I think sometimes um, we try to shape an identity instead of allowing God to shape our identity because we don't know the how. We just know the vision. We know what we want to see. And I think a lot of times we try to control the narrative because we want to figure out the how. And the how really actually does the shaping and the remolding and the reforming, all those things to shift us into the identity that we need. And I think sometimes we overthink instead of move, instead of be, instead of do. Because once we make a decision, that okay, I want to shift my identity to become the person necessary for the vision that I'm trying to produce. You don't know how that's going to take place, but because you've confessed it out of your mouth, because you made a decision that you want that vision, and you made a decision that you're willing to shift your identity, in that moment what you've done is you've gotten in alignment with your vision, and now God is going to bring the things, attract the things that needs to come to you in order for you to become that person that you said that you were willing to become. But you don't necessarily know the person that you need to become. Now, we can watch influencers, we can watch people of great status. We can watch elite people. We can watch people that are excelling tremendously in their careers, and we can listen to their podcasts. We can listen to them have conversations. We can get in those rooms and we can see samples, examples of who we actually need to become. Now, in the fullness of that, we don't know. But if we're willing to get in alignment, allow God to take the lead, allow God to order our footsteps, what's going to then take place is we are going to be shaped, remolded. God is the potter, we are the clay, right? And so then God is going to allow certain people to be attracted to us, certain people to come into our life, and it could be seasonal, right? It's going to be for a reason. And for some people, it may be forever, right? But I want you to understand that regardless of why they're in your life, how long they're in your life, it is a piece of the puzzle to help you become, to help you shift your identity and gain the identity necessary for you to become the person you need to be to receive what it is you're asking for. That vision. Because that vision you're craving. You're craving this vision. And you're trying to figure out how it's going to happen. You're worried about the wrong thing. You're worried about how something is going to happen instead of becoming. You got to give yourself the opportunity to become. You are comfortable with who you currently are, but who you currently are cannot get you to that vision. Because if it could, it would have already done it. So you have to make a decision that you are going to allow yourself to be uncomfortable, get in unfamiliar territory, get around unfamiliar people, get in unfamiliar environments so that you can become the person you need to be. One of the things I love talking about when it comes to the Bible is the journey of Abram. When God told Abram to walk away from his kindred and told him, I'm going to show you a land. And there is so much more that's coming with that, right? So many blessings that's going to come with that. But I need you to leave your kindred. Now, we understand that kindred is your family. For me, when I read that scripture, kindred represents a familiar place. So for me, it's like there's a better place, right? There's a better relationship. There's a better opportunity. There's more wealth. There's a better lifestyle. But what I need you to do, I need you to leave that familiar place. Because so many times we get comfortable in that familiar place, but we are hungry, starving, okay? We are thirsty for something better. We're thirsty for something better, but we are trying to get the better, the bigger, the greater from a familiar place, which has turned into a comfortable place. And in order for us to receive what it is that we want to receive, that we're hungry for, thirsty for, starving for, some of us, right? We have to be willing to leave a familiar place. That means old things are passed away. We're leaving the old to go get the new. Mm. We're leaving the old to go get the new. I cannot get the new until I release the old. Some of us are walking in a vision that somebody else gave us, that society gave us, that our surrounding gave us, that our parents formed in our mind. And we're hungry, thirsty, starving for something else. So we have to be willing to leave a familiar place, leave a comfortable place to gain something that we're hungry for, starving for, thirsty for. Are we going to let people down? Yes, but that's temporary. Because if you are letting people down because you are going after your vision, you are letting people down because you were an asset to them for what they needed. But the question is, what do you need? What do you need? Because you matter too. But you are walking in an identity that says, what does everybody else need instead of what do I need? When the truth of the matter is, something in you from a child that you experienced, you were exposed to, made you walk in an identity that said that other people are more valuable than you. Other people are more important than you. So this identity that may have been created is saying, put your values aside, put you aside, put your vision aside, and help these people over here. And you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're starving, you're miserable, you're complaining. And that's why you keep getting disappointed, because you are trying to produce a certain result in an environment where it can't be produced. It's like plants. If you plant in the wrong environment, that plant won't produce. You have to plant those seeds in an environment that grows that particular plant. So you're in a particular area of your life where you're like, something is wrong. I'm giving my time, I'm present, I'm dependable, all the things, but I'm miserable. I'm complaining, I'm not happy. And as much as I want peace, as much as I want joy, as much as I want love, as much as I want wealth, as much as I want abundance, I am not producing it here. I'm not. I am not producing it here. And you got to be honest with yourself. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. What's wrong? Me. It's not the people, because they may be in their right environment. It's the identity that I'm currently in. It is not working for me. Because the vision that I have in my mind is too big for the identity that I carry, the identity that I walk in. I have to be willing to be transformed. So even though I carry this vision in my mind is also limiting me from producing this vision, because there are things that I'm carrying in my mind subconsciously that I'm moving off of, that I'm not aware of, because I haven't taken out the time to sit still. I haven't taken out the time to reflect. I haven't taken out the time to reminisce. I haven't taken out the time to be honest. I need to reflect over my life. Why in the world do I keep putting myself in these cycles? Why in the world do I keep putting myself in these type of environments? Why in the world do I continue to put myself in situations where it hurts me, it hinders me, it stagnates me, it causes me to be stuck, it causes me to be bound? I need to do something different. I need to transform into the identity necessary to produce the vision that my heart desires, because there is a vision there and my heart desires it, because it does not go away regardless of what I'm doing with my life, regardless of how I'm living. It still has not gone away. I need to do something different. I'm blaming everybody else. I'm looking at everybody else. I'm complaining about everybody else. It's time to look in the mirror. It's time that I say goodbye to my old self. And it's time that I walk into the new version of me. A lot of people do not understand how I could walk away from church ministry, because it was something that people wanted for me in a season. God called me to it. But then when I began to focus on myself, I began to learn who I am. I began to learn that there is a burning on the inside of me called passion. There is a burning on the inside of me called vision. And it is not in alignment with what people want me to do. And it's not in alignment with what I was called to do for 10 years. Did I let some people down? Yes. Me saying I have to say no to people that are used to me doing praise and worship, used to me preaching the gospel in pulpits. I've had to say no. I've had to say no to engagements that in within that 10-year span that I was in, I would have easily said yes. I would have easily said I would love to serve, but I've made a decision for myself because it was necessary for me, because I live in this vessel, because I wake up to me every morning, because I'm breathing through this vessel, because of God. It is necessary that I do what it is that God has placed in me to do, not what people want me to do. Because you can be good at something, but you have to understand seasons. You have to understand seasons. And it's just like when I was playing college basketball and I gave up my scholarship to start a 5-day Bible study. People said that I was crazy. I had to go against what people thought. Because did I want to play? I did, but God had another plan for me. So I'm doing the 5-day Bible study. I do it for 2 semesters. The results were amazing, right? But then after that, God said, okay, I'm done. I want you to go back and play ball. What? And so many people are like, huh? See, you can say what you want to say, but listen, I always tell people God is real. I know God for myself through my experiences in life. You know, the Bible is a necessity. The Bible talks about God. God is in the Bible. The word is in the Bible because guess what? The word is God. It's been here since the beginning of time, right? The Bible came later. So the word is in the Bible. God is in the Bible, all right? Because many people think the Bible is a religious book, but it's not. Religion is in the Bible. Okay, so you got to understand that. Bible, basic instructions before leaving this earth. The word is God. Okay, I'm just going to stop it right there. But I want you to understand. So God came to me and said, okay, now I want you to go back and play basketball. I don't want you to do the Bible study anymore. And in that moment, I was confused because I was like, okay, so I took a year off to do this. Why am I not continuing it? And God was like, because you'll lose sight of me. And that's why I know that there's seasons for everything. But we believe, oh, we're supposed to do this for the rest of our life. What? No, there are seasons. There are seasons for a reason so that you can live and have life more abundantly here in the earth. Heaven on earth is possible, right? And so I did that and I didn't set that up. I was like, wait a minute, time out, right? He allowed me and my coach to run into each other. And my coach asked me, do you still do that Bible study thingy? Right? And I was like, no, not in this season. And he said to me, I need you to come back and play. God spoke to me and told me that I was going back. I wasn't going to ask my coach because I know what my coach said. I know my coach said, if you ever leave, you'll never be able to play again. So I wasn't going to go back. God allowed an encounter to come. Why? Because I want you to understand when you get in alignment, because I could have kept doing the Bible study and been stubborn. I could have disobeyed, but I didn't. I did not. When you get in alignment with a vision that God has revealed to you, because the visions come from God, okay? The visions come from God. When you get in alignment, things shall be attracted to you. Attracted to you. But you have to walk in a certain identity. A certain identity. I remember when I did the Bible study in college, I had tracks in my head at the time. You know, during that time, we were not wearing lace. We were not wearing wigs, okay? Lace fronts. We were not doing that. So I had the tracks in my head and I went through, I was in the mirror and I was getting ready to take my tracks out of my head. And I cut all my hair off. I just cut the tracks out of my head, cut my hair completely off. And when I got done, my friend at the time, Tiffany, I was like, what have I done? But I felt like I was supposed to do that, right? I walked in a new identity. I walked in a new identity because I want you to understand, depending on where we are, we have to be willing to shift our identity. Okay? You are not meant to stay the same person. You're not. You are supposed to grow. You are supposed to evolve. You are. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to evolve. And you're supposed to tap into the abundance that God has mandated for your life. But you cannot do that if you're not willing to grow, if you're not willing to evolve. And when you're willing to grow and evolve, that means you have to walk away from certain people, places, and things. And it's going to hurt, but it's okay. It'll heal with time. It'll heal with growth, but it'll definitely heal with revelation. Revelation will heal you, I believe, faster than anything when it comes to past trauma, relationship trauma, childhood trauma, emotional discombobulation, emotional dysfunction. You want to really heal, all you need is the right revelation. And that changes the perception of your mind. Because a lot of us, we hold on to certain things because of our perception. And so, what you want to do is you want to shift. I don't know who you have to walk away from. I don't know what doors you have to close. I don't know what careers you have to change. I don't know what relationships you have to walk away from, friendships you have to walk away from. I don't know. But you know, it has literally come to you several times. But you have to make a decision because if there's a vision in you and you're not seeing it, it's because you haven't said no, goodbye, and you haven't disconnected from certain people, places, and things. And once you do that, the things necessary will attract to you because now you're in alignment. And sometimes that disconnection is yourself, old self, being willing to transform. You have to be willing to let go of the old, walk into the new. And for everybody, that looks different. But I can tell you right now, if you want to manifest a vision that you're carrying, a vision that you see, a vision that you're thirsty after, you got to be willing to shift your identity and become the version of yourself that you need to be. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I am Tamara Lachey with The Shift. Remember, share this broadcast with some of your friends so that it can encourage somebody, even your family. The Shift is all about providing you with the resources to walk in the transformation necessary for the abundance that's mandated for your life. Until next time.